7 Stoic attitudes that leave disrespect in the dust. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove yourself. In fact, the moment you react with anger, defensiveness, or desperation, you've already handed your power away. The ancient Stoics understood something that most people today have forgotten. True strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's steady. It doesn't beg for attention. It simply is. And when you embody that kind of presence, disrespect doesn't just fail to affect you. It collapses under its own emptiness. Today, I'm sharing 7 Stoic attitudes, time-tested, deeply human, and profoundly effective, that don't just help you cope with disrespect, they render it meaningless. Let's begin with the reality we all face. Disrespect is everywhere. It's in the backhanded compliment disguised as humor. It's in the way someone interrupts you mid-sentence as if your thoughts don't matter. It's in the silence when you speak up, the eye roll, the subtle exclusion, the condescending tone masked as advice. Most people respond in one of 2 ways. They either explode in anger, trying to force respect through volume, or they retreat inward, doubting their own worth. But the Stoics offered a third path. Not aggression, not submission, but sovereignty. A quiet, unshakable inner authority that says, I am not here to earn your approval. I am here to live by my principles. And from that place, disrespect loses its sting, because it has nothing to land on. Now, let's walk through the 7 attitudes that make this possible. Number 1. This says nothing about me. It reveals everything about them. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct might be to defend your character. But ask yourself, does their opinion live in your soul? Of course not. Epictetus, the former slave who became one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, put it plainly. It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it that matters. Their disrespect isn't a mirror of your worth. It's a window into their insecurity, their fear, or their lack of self-mastery. Don't confuse their noise for truth. Number 2. I will not mirror their chaos. Disrespect feeds on reaction. The more you engage emotionally, the more fuel you give it. The Stoic response? Breathe deeper when they raise their voice. Slow down when they rush. Stay grounded when they spin. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled during war and plague, wrote in his private journal, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That's not passive, it's strategic. By refusing to descend into their emotional drama, you protect your peace and expose their imbalance without saying a word. Number 3. My worth is not negotiable, and it doesn't require their signature. The Stoics teach that your value comes from within, from your choices, your integrity, your commitment to virtue, not from likes, nods, or validation from people who barely understand themselves. When you stop seeking approval, something remarkable happens. You become magnetic, not because you changed, but because you stopped pretending. Live by your own code, quietly, consistently, and let your actions speak so clearly that words become unnecessary. Number 4. I observe without absorbing. Imagine disrespect as rain falling on a waxed jacket. It hits, but it doesn't soak in. The Stoics practiced what they called proshoke, attentive awareness. You notice the disrespect. You acknowledge it, but you don't internalize it. You are not the storm. You are the sky, vast, calm, and untouched by the weather passing through. This isn't denial. It's discernment. and it's your first line of defense. Number 5. Sometimes silence is the loudest response. We've been conditioned to think we must always reply, to justify, correct, or defend ourselves. But Seneca, advisor to emperors, wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." And sometimes that delay becomes permanent. When someone speaks from ego, responding only feeds their performance. But silence confuses them. It disarms them. It forces them to sit with their own emptiness. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. Number 6. I focus only on what I can control. My character, my actions, my peace. You cannot control whether someone respects you, but you can control whether you act with courage, whether you speak with kindness, whether you walk away with dignity. Every time you choose principle over reaction, you build an inner fortress. And over time, people begin to sense it. They don't know why, but they treat you differently, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it through consistency. Number 7. I release the need for them to understand, apologize, or change. This is the final liberation. Most of us hold on to a quiet hope that one day they'll see it, they'll regret it, they'll come back and say, "I was wrong." But the Stoics knew better. They didn't wait for fools to become wise. They focused on their own virtue and found peace there. Once you let go of that emotional debt, their disrespect loses all power, because you're no longer waiting for anything from them. So remember this: you were never meant to convince the disrespectful of your worth. You were meant to live so fully, so calmly, so unapologetically aligned with your truth that their noise becomes irrelevant. Disrespect may always exist in the world, but in your inner world, you decide what gets to stay. If this resonated with you, take one of these 7 attitudes and carry it with you this week, not as a weapon, but as a shield, not to push others away, but to protect your peace. And if you found value here, consider subscribing for more on living with quiet strength, stoic wisdom, and unshakable self-respect. Because you don't need their respect to be worthy. You just need to remember your own.